Live stream to YouTube. All right. Taking its time. Just cause all the rain.
Yeah. How's the weather out there?
Yeah, it's rainy.
Yeah.
It's been rainy. All right. So there's that. I've got it up live. All right. Good deal. Let me go ahead and get our intro and then we'll get rolling with it.
Okay.
Hi, this is Jack Hughes of Wang Chung, and you're listening to the DND Dynamite 80s podcast show with your hosts DC and DH.
Live from Nashville, Tennessee, you are listening to the D&D Dynamite 80s podcast with your hosts, DC and DH. So guys, take it away. All right. Welcome in, folks, to another weekly D&D Dynamite 80s podcast show. We are celebrating the month of our whole entire shows of this month are dedicated to the tribute to the Beach Boys. And we've had some fantastic folks on throughout the month. And man, it couldn't get any better than finishing up tonight with our guest that we have. Before I do that, we have been reading a comment that was sent to us that I want to open the show with before we do the intros and get rolling here. It says this: thank you to David Clark and Dale Hudson for keeping the music and the impact of the Beach Boys alive with your internet show. Each tribute band helps promote the music of the Beach Boys, and we all appreciate that support. And that comment, that comment came from David Marks and Al Jardine. So we appreciate them sending that information on to us. We couldn't work it out with their people to get one of those guys on during the month, but they did the next best thing and sent us some comments there. So we appreciate that. And yeah, honor tonight to have Alan Connor with us. He is with Endless Summer, and they are fantastic. And we'll listen to a little bit of what they do here in just a little bit. But Alan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic. Appreciate you once again taking some time with us tonight to celebrate one of the iconic groups of any kind of music genre there is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we've had a blast doing that for the month, and yeah, met some great people like yourself throughout the whole process. So it's been
well.
cool.
I've watched those shows, and you had some great bands on.
Yeah. So we were very, very blessed with that. Let me ask this first, Alan. How did the idea for you to do this come about?
Well, a long time ago, we were fortunate enough, when I say a long time ago, I'm talking about when I was 8, 9 years old. We were fortunate enough to open up some shows for the Beach Boys, and so I've stayed in touch with Mike and Al throughout the years, and so about 4.5 years ago, a buddy of mine got together and said, "You know what? We might ought to try a Beach Boy tribute band because there's none around in our area." And so we put it together and we found the right musicians and singers because, as you probably know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
No.
And the funny thing is getting some of the musicians that like Beach Boys because they're a little bit younger. So
Sure.
some of those songs that we do, they'd never heard before. They had to learn them like they were brand new songs.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spoke about that for a little bit, or kind of touched on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about what makes I mean, there's a lot of stuff that makes their music so unique, but the harmony is just amazing in it.
Well, it's the harmony. It's uh, the genius of, in my opinion. I mean, I really believe that everyone in the Beach Boys, in their own rights, were genius. But the two geniuses for me were Brian Wilson and Mike Love, because Brian, obviously wrote the music, but
Sure.
Mike wrote all of their number one songs. wrote the lyrics to them, and
Right.
he had his finger on the pulse of the teenagers of the '60s. And when we perform, and we basically have tried to replicate a Beach Boy concert when we perform.
Okay.
And now, going off a little bit, the strange thing is, according to our analytics on Facebook, our number one group of people, subscribers, and people that watch our videos is 55 and up. But the number two group is from 20 to 30.
Isn't that something?
That is,
Wow.
that is
That
amazing.
is amazing.
Yeah. And so the music was not only had the pulse of the teenagers, but it was innocent music. It was good music. The lyrics were good. You weren't afraid to play it in front of anybody else.
Yeah.
You weren't
Sure.
going to embarrass. I mean, and this has been funny for us, but for the last couple of years, we played a couple of churches that wanted to come in for their music series, and they weren't afraid of what we were going to do.
Okay.
So,
Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
So yeah, the harmonies were just so far ahead of everybody else,
Right.
and still is.
Yeah. 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 And it's a lost art, isn't it?
It really is. It really is, because anyone, I say anyone, but most people can do the 3-part harmonies. But the Beach Boys were a little bit different, because all their harmonies, the lead vocal was the high harmony, was the high part instead of the third, instead of just a harmony. It was the lead part, but it was done an octave higher, and that's what made it so unique.
Wow. And it's hard to make that same thing happen. Yeah,
yes, it is.
Sure. Yeah, bet it is. I bet it is. I assume you've seen the documentary that Disney put out. Have you seen that? Fantastic, by the way, folks. If you haven't seen it, you need to definitely, and being a fan that I am, such a fan, I just enjoyed it thoroughly, and it is a cool story how they came and developed what they did and stuck with it, and persevered, if you will.
Well, exactly, because they're because of the of course, we all know the story on Murray Wilson, but again, if it weren't for Murray, you might not have the Beach Boys today, because he's the one that got him the contract, and he's the one that kept pushing. Sure. And he's the one that kept telling them to turn up the treble on the guitar, and they kept turning it down, but he would go back in later and turn it back up. Well, he was right. That's what that sound was. So, Murray might have been a little rough there, and I understand why they had to fire their own dad. But
sure,
I think a lot of sometimes people will pile on to something and maybe shouldn't.
Sure. Speaking of the music, you had mentioned Mike Love about writing, a lot of the lyrics. In that documentary, if I'm not mistaken, I believe one of those songs he wrote on the way to the studio as his wife was driving.
Yes, I tell that story in our show. It was Good Vibrations, and basically, Brian called Mike because the touring Beach Boys had just got off the road.
Okay,
and he said, "Okay, we're doing that song today. The only problem is that we don't have any lyrics for it. The lyrics that they had written that Brian and I was it Asher, I think they didn't like the lyrics."
Okay.
So Mike really he dictated the lyrics on the way to the recording studio, and they recorded it.
Wow, isn't that something?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, what a gift! What a gift to be able to do that. Yeah, just on the fly like that. That is unreal. We mentioned a little bit. We talked about the music and the age groups and all that. But the message in the music, they touched a lot of different people, right? I mean, cars, girls, surfing. I mean, they figured it out. Well, just because we're in a surfing area of the world, we can talk about other things that will hit home with people.
Yeah, exactly right. Because not it, you don't have a surfing in Wichita, Kansas,
Or
but
Nashville, Tennessee, right?
that's right. But you do have hot rods,
Sure.
and you did have girls.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I think it was Mike or it was Al, I forget which one, was talking about how they would show up in the Midwest and there would be guys pulling up to the concerts with surfboards on their cars.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So,
What a impression to make on people.
and
And
even to this day, it's still, we did a show last year with the Long Beach Symphony Orchestra.
wow.
And my wife and I and some friends, we got there about a week early, and we decided to just do all things Beach Boys while we were out there. So we went to the monument where the home is. We drove out to Paradise Cove where they took the pictures, and
Sure.
this was all before
Those
the
famous
fires.
pictures.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
before the fire. It was just beautiful. So it was a way of life that's still appealing to everyone. Because
Yeah.
when I got there, of course I'm in Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
and we but driving out there, I just driving down the Pacific Coast Highway and stuff like that, just going,
Sure.
this is just incredible, and this is what they wanted everyone to enjoy
To
with their
experience.
music. They
Yeah.
they tried to paint a picture, which I think they did very well,
Absolutely.
of what California, what they perceived California life to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, and here's the thing, and I'm going to ask you this in a second, but it's fun music. It's fun music.
People will ask us. They said, "You look like you're having a good time,"
Yeah.
and my response is, you may be in a bad mood before the music starts, but once it starts, you can't be in a bad mood.
Right.
It's just too happy. And I see this all the time. And even the last show we did here in Dallas last weekend, a gentleman came up to us. When I say we get this all the time, almost every show, a gentleman came up to us, and he was probably, I would guess, in his mid 70s, but he had a mist in his eyes because he said, thank you for taking me back to when I was 16 years old.
Mm, mm.
And people look back when they're 16, 17, 15, 14. Those are good times.
Absolutely.
and,
Absolutely.
and so we get that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now I wanted to mention that we appreciate your talent so much, what you do for people, and you've touched on it. What a gift! What a gift for for people to come in for an hour and a half or whatever,
Hmm.
and some of their problems kind of erased from their memory for just a little bit of time,
Yeah.
where they can go back and reminisce, and those that are being introduced to it can enjoy it and say, "Hey, this is something that I really can get into."
Yes.
What a gift that is! I'm sure that you don't take that for granted.
No, we don't. And we so appreciate the audience that comes to see us, because there's so many things they could be doing, and
Sure.
especially the older audience that
Mm,
that have grandkids soccer games and their life to live, but to
right.
come to spend it with us is we don't take it that, and we will, after the show or during our meet and greets, we will stand there until every person has gone that wants to talk to us, because we appreciate that so much.
Absolutely. That's fantastic stuff. Folks, once again, we're talking with Alan Connor, and yeah, it's cool. It is very cool to reminisce about a lot of these songs and the memories of when you listened and first heard them, and yeah, we're celebrating the Beach Boys, as you know, for October, and yeah, great stuff. We want to go ahead and play a clip here of Alan and the guys, and then we'll talk about the guys. I want
Okay.
to talk about some of those wonderful musicians you got in the group,
Okay.
and yeah, let's do a little listening here to what we got going on with Endless Summer, and
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around. 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 This is the worst trip I've ever been on. You can see what it's on. Watch out, get John B. Get John B. See how the princess. Little surfer, little one. Way out in Kokomo, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take a trip and get up, mama. Come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go Jamaica?
All right. Fantastic stuff there.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you end up traveling a lot, even maybe out of the state to perform?
You know, when we first put this together, we were just going to play in Texas, and so then we ended up in Long Beach.
Yeah, like
and
you
we-
mentioned. Yeah.
And then we went to Florida. We went
Wow.
to Indiana, with Oklahoma. We'll be in Michigan at the with the symphony in Michigan. We go to Illinois in 2 weeks. So we're not a touring band, but we're a semi-touring band.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like it. You're going to put some miles on. So
Yes.
yeah, fantastic. Well, we hope that we can get you to Nashville at some point. That would be fantastic to see you guys, or get out to the Big D and see you
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah. Well, I think
Fantastic.
the guys you had on earlier,
Mhm.
they are very good groups. Very good. And I was really enjoying watching the Surf City All Stars,
Yes.
because they're kind of the gold standard.
Yeah.
And so it was neat to see that show.
Yeah. And Alan's mentioning, some of the folks that we've had on this month, and we got a kick out of having the young men on that perform with their grandfather and their dad.
Right. Yeah.
Just talented young men, and it's so good to be able to see. We're passing it on to generation, and you got 3 generations in that band. So
Exactly right.
fabulous stuff. That kind of gets me to wanting to ask you this one. Do you think the music of the Beach Boys ever dies out?
I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is when I told you that our analytics said that our second biggest group was from 20 to 30 years old.
Right.
When I'm walking around in Dallas, generally speaking, I have a Beach Boy tour shirt on, some Beach Boy t-shirt, and so
right.
The most response I get are from the younger people. And I was in a gas station, and a young lady, the cashier, says, "Hey," she was probably 20 years old. She said, "I love your T-shirt." I said, "Thank you." I said, "Do you know about the Beach Boys?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "How do you know?" And she said, "TikTok." I went,
what about
"Really?"
that?
So apparently their music is all over TikTok, and we're seeing younger and younger people coming. We started seeing that a lot after Brian's death. We started, I guess, kids started saying, "What's this Brian Wilson thing?" And they started checking into it and decided they liked it.
Right.
The people that come see our show will bring their kids, and when I say their kids are 30 and 40 years old,
Right.
but they're like my kids. My kids know all the music to the Beach Boys because they had to listen to it in the car when they were kids.
Sure.
And
Sure.
so that 60s, 70s, and 80s music was played a lot in my car, and that's how we're seeing everybody else is doing the same thing. And
Isn't that
so these
something?
kids are not like I've never heard of the Beach Boys. They know who they are because they listen to them on the radio.
That's right. Isn't that something? Isn't
Yeah.
that something? Yeah. So discuss with us a little bit about some of those fantastic musicians that perform with you.
Well, all right. The singer that sings the high parts, the Brian Wilson part. He also plays the bass guitar. Earl
Okay.
Lemons.
Isn't that
Uh,
something? Yeah.
yes, and Earl has been a friend of mine for about 30 years now, but we had never performed, had a band together, anything like that until four
The
and a half
Beach
years.
Boys. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Rhett Beggs is he sings all the Carl Wilson high lead parts, God only knows, and things like that.
Sure.
He's the youngster of the band.
Okay.
Well, Kenny Lewis on the guitar, so he actually does all the David Marks or Carl Wilson guitar parts. We have Mike Lee, who is our musical arranger and he's our director. He's on the keyboards. He does all the Al Jardine lead things. We have Zach Bond on drums, who is a world class drummer, and uh, he's just I wanted everyone. Number one, when we put this music together, I sent them videos to watch. I wanted to watch videos from the 60s. I wanted to watch
Wow. Yeah.
videos from 2012. And I said, what we're going to do is we're going to put together a show that's going to be a combination of the two. So you're going to get a more modern sound obviously with the new stuff,
Right.
but I wanted the look and feel of the 60s Beach Boys.
Gotcha. Gotcha. One of the main top questions of the night, I want to go ahead and ask it now. We are a very high-priced organization. Our podcast is, as you can tell, and what we do, we kind of do our post-conference, our post-show stuff at the Waffle House on Friday mornings.
There we go.
That's our routine.
That's a good one.
What we've done with our guests, and we've done it, and we actually get feedback from it quite a bit of like, what are you going to compare to next and all this? And people have kind of started getting a kick out of the results from it. But what we were doing this month is I'm going to give you 2 songs by the Beach Boys. One of them, my buddy has chosen as his song, and I've chosen the other one. And whoever loses has to buy breakfast. So that's how that works.
Okay.
So the 2 songs are California Girls and Surfing USA.
Mm-hmm.
And so you decide of those 2 which one you favor more.
If I had to describe a song, or if I had to pick a song that I thought described the Beach Boys, it would be California Girls.
Okay. And that's my buddies. So I have gotten worn out this month. I hope my luck turns around for November for sure. That's for sure.
Well, and it's funny is because the California Girls,
yeah,
it was, well, I mean, obviously their biggest hit was Kokomo.
Yeah.
But their most known hit would have been California Girls, and it wasn't even a number 1 song. That's what's so
isn't that
unique.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what everyone remembers.
Sure. Absolutely. That is very true. Very true. And it's a fun song as well.
Well, we have a couple of songs that we do that we love to do. One is Darlin' is one of our favorite songs to do.
Yes.
It's just a great song. We do Get You Back, and it's an 80s tune.
Yeah.
And, but we love that song.
Yeah.
So we kind of run the gamut, but people will ask me, "What's your favorite Beach Boys song?" Yeah, now my wife's is "Sail On Sailor."
Oh, okay.
I don't know I love doing "Darling," but in a song that you have two camps kind of in the Beach Boy world. You have the Brian Wilson camp and you have the Mike Love camp.
Sure. Right. Right.
The Brian Wilson camp doesn't like Kokomo because Brian didn't have anything to do with the song. But Kokomo is probably our most requested song.
Really?
And we love doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a fun song. That
Yeah.
is a fun song.
Yeah.
Welcome in, DH.
Hey, glad to be here. Sorry about running late, but sometimes things happen we can't control.
I understand, and Al and I have been holding it down.
I've been listening to some, then I had to turn it off as I headed in, so I was kind of like, okay, let me get switched over here.
I heard we're going to the Waffle House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not even on the show, and you still win.
See, you know why, don't you? It's because I've been all around this great big world.
That's it.
So I'm going to go ahead and say Friday morning while I'm sitting there under a palm tree in the sand in front of my Waffle House.
That's right.
See, I put enough emphasis on the last few weeks. That's why I won this week.
I got you. Oh, man.
I get a free breakfast at the Waffle House. That's my big celebration.
I'm going to have to come up there just so I can go to the Waffle House.
Yeah,
that's right.
Come on down. Hey,
absolutely.
DC's buying, Alan. Come on down.
Yeah, I'll end up buying. So there you go. Oh, what do you got, DH? I know you got some stuff for Alan.
Yeah, it's first off, I want to say, I've kind of been listening bits and pieces as I could get in there.
Sure.
Amazing show, Alan. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us and kind of giving us some insight there that you've been provided. You kind of answered one of the questions that I had that I was kind of leading up to was what was, one of the most requested songs. But Alan, one of the things I want to know is what is one of your favorite, like if you had one song, you had to pick your favorite song to play, what would it be?
I like. Okay, this it's a Beach Boys. It's not one of the real famous songs, but it's a song called Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do Hawaii. It's just to me, it's just a neat song.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's different. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know that it's my favorite. It's I guess it's like, what's your favorite kid, your child?
Right.
Depends on which one's asking, right?
That's true at the time.
Yeah. that is true. That's a hard. I love performing Darlin'. I love performing Kokomo. You start the first notes off on California Girls, the audience just, that's the cool thing about Beach Boys songs. A lot of their songs, when it started off, everybody knew what it was before you went into the song. And California Girls is one of them. So it might be California, but then we enjoy good vibrations. So, we could keep this going for 90 minutes.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
I do want to ask you, Alan, one of the things, and you just mentioned this, I've never asked this question before, but it just came to mind when you mentioned California Girls.
Mm-hmm.
We all know David Lee Roth kind of did a version of California Girls. And I mean, both are great, don't get me wrong, but when you hear something like that, what are your thoughts as an artist and as someone that actually, plays those songs over and over? What are your thoughts between the two?
Well, obviously, I'm going to side with the Beach Boys on this, but however, I think that that David Lee Roth opened up a whole new audience when he did that with the Beach Boys, and the same today with John Stamos.
Yes, and see, that's kind of what I was wondering, kind of if that concept was there, because to me, you guys introduced the music to new generations at your shows
Absolutely.
constantly.
Absolutely.
You know, and to me, when David Lee Roth redid it, you know, and did his version, that kind of reintroduces it. So I was kind of wondering in the industry, is that a thing? Is it like, I know a lot of times you hear like imitation is the purest form of flattery.
Mhm.
Is that true in the music industry?
You know, for the most part, it is. For the most part. Now, when I put this together, I went and talked to Mike about this, and I went and talked to Al about this to make sure that they were okay with everything that I was doing, especially doing the symphony shows, because that's a whole different deal where artists usually don't want you to change up their music.
Right.
Mm.
And so obviously doing a symphony, you're changing it up somewhat, but not the arrangements. They're just augmenting what we're already doing. So we're not doing anything different. So, but you know, Mike was just he was just all for it and flattered about it. So, uh, of course, I played the Mike Love part in the band, but I think then you have guys like the Eagles. So those guys get pretty tough on the Eagles tributes.
Right.
They'll come down on them hard, but I haven't seen that with the Beach Boys. Uh, and even though that I have not met any of the other Beach Boy tribute bands, I kind of feel they feel the same thing because there's not that many of us in the United States, and I think that all of us are keeping that music alive, and I think the Beach Boys and Al appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Like when I opened up the show with that comment from them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, each tribute band helps promote the music of the Beach Boys, and we really appreciate that support. So
Yeah,
that comes from their heart. I believe that.
Yeah.
Absolutely
yeah.
it does.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So that is great stuff. Um, and we talked about it a little bit about the generational deal
Mm-hmm.
at your shows. Do you see? Are you starting to see, or have you been seeing some of the? You mentioned some of the older ones are bringing their sons and daughters who
Mm-hmm.
maybe are in that 40 or 30 range or whatever. Do you see even some kids that come?
Yes, we're seeing that more and more. We're seeing teenagers coming.
Wow.
We were in a big supper club in Houston called Dosey Do. It's a big barn, but it's a they serve dinner. It's just it's a
Yeah.
great live venue.
Wow.
And during the meet and greet afterwards, a kid came up and said, "I just you saw last week that Brian Wilson had passed away, and I didn't know anything about him, and I started listening to his music." And so I wanted to come and see you guys. And he goes, "Man, that y'all just turned me into a Beach Boy fan."
That's
That's
awesome.
something. That is
And,
great.
and the funny thing about it, this kid had never heard of the Beach Boys, but
Wow.
he saw that Brian Wilson had passed away, so he decided to look it up and see what it was all about.
And it
That's
makes me
awesome.
wonder. It makes me wonder how much of that has. I think you were spot on with it from his death. Got so much publicity and was on so much social media, and people were like, "Okay, he was a singer. I mean, what the heck? I've never heard it."
Yeah,
They were just out of just being curious. I wonder how many people have been. It's probably this amazing stat of how many people have been turned on by that just
yeah,
You know,
over his death.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you
I
know
mean,
what?
it had to be because we saw a big uptick in the younger people after his death.
Wow.
I
Wow.
wonder, DC, kind of on the counter of that, how many people actually heard Beach Boy songs like on the radio or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but never really knew who sung them? Because,
Hmm.
That's a
they'll be
great
humming
point.
along and singing a song and then not really
Well, I
know
didn't
who
know
it
they did
was. And then,
Kokomo. Yeah.
yeah. And that,
Or
yeah.
sure.
Well, there's a
I'm sure a
commercial
lot of
out.
that happens. Yeah.
There's a commercial out right now with a national commercial with United Healthcare, and I believe they've got God Only Knows uh, as their song.
Isn't that
You know
something?
what? I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned that, I
Yeah.
believe I have seen that. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Just amazing. Amazing
I
stuff.
think the Beach Boy music will always be around.
Yes.
We do because uh, we're talking 65 years later, and we're still selling out
Yeah.
places to come see the. They're not coming to see me. They're coming to experience the music of the Beach Boys.
Right.
So
Right. Well,
DC,
like I
DC.
mentioned to you, what a gift that you're providing, and
Oh,
we
yeah,
appreciate that
definitely.
so much.
Definitely.
thank
What
you.
I
What
was
a gift. What a
what
gift.
I was going to say, DC, is we've been doing this for 5 years and we haven't sold anything out, much
No.
less than
No.
65 years.
No. I'm
Listen,
I'm afraid to tell you, buddy, it's not going to get any better
hey,
now.
the only payday, look at that, see my ceiling fan. The only payday I got from this was my wife giving me $5 to take it upstairs so she didn't have to hear it.
Exactly. Take it somewhere else where she didn't have to hear it, right?
She let me do a podcast for him so she didn't have to hear it. Hey,
There you go. Well, hey, you won. You won in the
You have
deal
been
then.
getting free breakfast once a week. So
You know, I
Right.
have been. I
true.
have been. I've
That's
been
true.
getting free break, and and I've been pretty lucky in as far as that goes. And Alan, here's the funny part: I let him choose the songs and which one he wants.
Yeah, I lose. Yeah, and I'm the one that gets to choose.
But see, all the way
Crazy.
back to our first podcast when I told you all your songs were wrong that you picked in the top 20. That's
It's
why
come
I
back
do
to
it.
haunt me. Yeah, it's come back to get me for sure. Oh wow.
that's so funny. And the all their songs. My least favorite song, even when I was a kid, my least favorite Beach Boy song was Barbara Ann. I never
Right.
liked the song. You know what it was? It was, I guess, because it wasn't polished. They were supposed to be sitting around the campfire,
Yeah.
and I didn't like that. But it's so funny. It's the song we close our show out with.
Isn't that
So,
something? There you go. There you go. Alan, it's been a pleasure, man. We appreciate you taking time with us tonight and celebrating the Beach Boys. And man, we couldn't have wrapped it up any better, my friend. But having you with us, it's been fantastic.
Well, thank you so much. And just make sure everyone goes to our website and they can see where we're going to be. And matter of fact, I think I'm going to go down and see the Beach Boys this Saturday. They're going to be at the University of Texas. So
Okay.
I may run down there and see them for a little bit. But
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely, folks. Get on social media and check these guys out. And please go out and support them.
Yes, definitely.
Whenever they're in your area, pick up tickets and go see. I know it's a fantastic show. Of course, you can see stuff that they do on YouTube and appreciate that as well. If you can't make the shows, we've got that platform that really helps out in those kind of times for sure. But we appreciate your time, Alan, and can you hold tight as we wrap it up?
Sure.
All right. DH, take it, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, if you are a fan of classic Memphis wrestling, it's that time in the match where referee Jerry Calhoun has turned his back. Out comes the chain.
The chain is always available. That's right. Pull the chain from the tights. Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another episode of D&D Dynamite 80s. I would like to thank Alan for joining us. It's been a wonderful month. It's been amazing talking Beach Boys and all.
Yep.
So remember, you can follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, on our website, all D&D Dynamite 80s. Canyon Star TV, you can find us there, D&D Dynamite 80s. So look for us, watch a show, give us a share, give us a like, give us a shout out. Any negative goes to DC directly.
I'll put that in your box.
If you send it to me, I'm going to forward it on anyway.
Yes, you will.
All good.
I know you would.
Alan, I'm going to tell you either congratulations or condolences, whichever way you want to look at it, because you're now a member of the D&D Dynamite family. So congratulations or condolences, up to you.
Well, and there's one good thing about it, guys. I love Waffle House. So
there you go.
Oh, we're all in the family then.
and DC's always buying, so it's always
There we go.
It works out for you guys.
yeah. So, folks, as I always end it off before I send it over to DC, remember, it doesn't cost anything extra to be kind, so always be kind to each other. DC?
Amen, brother. Next week, before we get those sponsors in, next week we've got, we're going back to just a mixture of hodgepodge weekly of our shows. We're going to have Lori Miller and the rest of Oh Baby. Lori she's been on our show twice.
Yes.
She's got a new project, and the group is called Oh Baby. But
hey, can you believe she wants to come back on again?
I had to twist her arm, I think. But now Lori was actually one of the original members of Exposé.
Yes.
The band of the 80s. So Lori's great. And like I said, she may be, have we had anybody else third time other than the Rock and Roll Rev?
Well, we've
I
had
don't think
Rock and
we
Roll
have.
Rev and Tammy Dever. We've had them on.
But
So
they're basically family. So
Yeah,
I don't
she's in that
think
elite
guest-wise. Yeah, she'll be in the elite
that
club.
elite club.
Yeah,
She
for
gets
the trace.
She gets those frequent flyer miles. I mean, we're not going to have an
That's
airplane,
right.
and you're not going to get to go anywhere, but we'll give you the miles.
Exactly. Let's get those sponsors in.
Let's do it.
DND Dynamite 80s would like to thank their sponsors, Hudson's Flags and More, Nesting Project of Smyrna, Tennessee, PJG Marketing, Totally Cool 80s, Charlie Bubbles Cares for Kids, Jackie's Creations on Facebook, Riley Rhodes Art Designs at rileyroads.art on Instagram, and the Magic Yarn Project. You can find all these great folks online. You most certainly can. Check all out our fine friends for sure.
Yes. And folks, two organizations that we want you to kind of keep in mind, especially we're coming into the Christmas season, and
Can you
the
believe
holiday
that?
season. I can't believe it, man. It's flying through.
Flying by, isn't it?
But we've been blessed. When we started this thing 5 years ago, we said if we ever get to the point where we can help out and give something back, we want to do that. We've been fortunate enough to kind of become associated with two organizations. One, the Magic Yarn Project.
Mm-hmm.
What these folks do is they hand knit, and it's by all volunteers, but they hand knit headwear like princesses and superheroes and all of that, and donate it to children that are fighting cancer. And it makes a big difference for those families. So, support.
Check out
them
those
with
fine
your
folks,
thoughts,
for sure.
prayers, monetary, ever how you want to do. And also, Charlie Bubbles Cares for Kids, our friend the Vooch. What they do with this organization is if you donate money, they help provide books for kids that may not necessarily be able
Can't
to afford
them.
those books.
Yeah.
And as educators, we both know how important literacy is at a young age. So make sure and check those two organizations out. And if you feel led, help those organizations out.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Once again, Alan Connor from Endless Summer. We appreciate your time, man.
Thank you.
All the best to the band, and safe in your travels, and hope we can catch up again, and that'd be fantastic.
Anytime. I enjoyed it, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right. So for Alan, that is DH at the bottom of the screen there, my buddy, my partner and companion. We appreciate you joining in, getting here, and being able to show a few minutes with us. That's awesome, man.
Better late than never. I got
absolutely. I am DC with DND Dynamite 80s, and exciting show next week for you. Like I said, Oh Baby will be here, and we'll talk with all those members and catch up and see what they've got going on. So, as DC always leads us out, keep playing any of that genre of music that you love, folks, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, folks.
Thanks.